Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm just a guy that's crazy about Marvel. If you love Marvel too, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. But this is gonna be my review of Moon Knight. I might do a little spoilery talk at the end, but I'll make sure to warn you, so this is a warning in advance of the warning. But anyway, let's talk about Moon Knight. So first of all, Oscar Isaac's performance as Mark Spector / Stephen Grant was phenomenal. I mean, he practically carried the show, but everybody in the show was amazing as well, so you can't say that. But he was amazing. He really nailed it, I think. Switching personalities on the fly was just insane. You guys gotta check it out. If you haven't already watched the show, I would recommend it. If you aren't like super into the MCU or you've missed like a few things here and there, it's not like super tied into everything, so you can definitely just get into the show and not be worried about missing out on this or that. There's just maybe a couple little Easter eggs that you might catch if you know everything basically, but it's not really that important to the larger story or anything else. So I think that actually makes it perfect if you're a huge fan of the MCU and you've watched everything, or if you're just starting out and you haven't really seen half the stuff, then, you know, it's a perfect show to just catch up and just enjoy. The action was incredible. All the fight scenes were amazing. I also really liked how in like the first episode, he was switching personalities without like knowing the other personality, so he would just like blink in and out and just everybody's like unconscious around him and he's just like, whoa, what happened? I thought that was pretty cool. And then as they slowly introduced, you know, his other personality and everything, it all kind of made sense. Now, as far as the effects go, some of it was really awesome looking, and then there was a few that like were a little bit off. So I'm guessing, you know, it's a TV show. It's not like they have years to work on the effects like the big movies and everything. So I'm sure they did the best they could, and I still think most of it looked pretty great. But that is kind of like a small gripe of mine, that there's like a few effects that were just like, that could have been maybe a little better. But that's a pretty small gripe, I think, considering the acting was so good, the action was so good. The story itself, I think, was great all the way through. I was really just invested in the characters the whole time. I really liked how they started out with Stephen and slowly introduced Mark in the first episode, and then things just got crazy from there. I thought Harrow was also a great villain for the series. It's very similar to, you know, the hero. It's that same kind of thing that Marvel likes to do, where it's just like a slightly eviler version of the hero. But I think Marvel's been doing a great job of making their villains, you know, might make much more sense and like have actual motivations that seem somewhat realistic at least. And this guy, he felt a little bit like Thanos. Not like a copy-paste, definitely, but I really liked how they both had the same kind of like vengeance mindset, but, you know, just opposite ends of like what is and isn't okay as far as that's concerned. Anyway, he was a great villain. So that's my non-spoiler review of Moon Knight. If you want to stop here, I'm going to start talking a little bit more in detail about stuff after the first episode. I don't really think the first episode counts as spoilers because it's literally the first episode. But anyway, I'd highly recommend checking it out. So moving on, if you want to talk about spoilery stuff, bruh. I really liked how in episode 2 they gave Stephen the Mr. Knight costume to kind of differentiate him. I thought that was a really cool idea. And later on, when they start like switching costumes mid-fight, I thought that was really cool. And also a great way to be able to tell who is what character, like who is like the personality and control at the moment during the fight, because the whole costume changes. I mean, when you got like a full face mask and everything, that would be impossible to tell otherwise. So just being able to give him a completely different costume was, I think, a really good idea, actually. And one of my favorite moments of the entire show was in episode 3 when Moon Knight was helping Khonshu like turn back the night sky and actually like, you know, find the stars of a certain night to like triangulate the location of a hidden tomb where Amit's little statue thing was buried. I thought that was so cool. That was just such a crazy scene. I was like, whoa, he's like so powerful to just spin back the night sky 2,000 years or something. That was just really cool to see. I don't know. I loved that a lot. And then in episode 4, we got this amazing like Tomb Raider sequence where they actually like go to this hidden tomb underground, and there's these like crazy zombie dudes that have been down there for 2,000 years protecting the pharaoh or whatever, and they had to like fight them. That was just such a cool moment. I didn't expect to see anything like that. That was crazy. But the ending of that episode, oh my god, you guys, I did not see the ending coming when they actually killed Mark / Stephen, and, you know, their whole death scene, and they woke up in like an insane asylum, and I was just like, what the heck is going on right now? bruh, is this true? Has he just been insane the whole time in an asylum and just making all the Moon Knight stuff up in his head? But then we found out in the 5th episode that no, he's actually in the Duat, which is like the afterlife, the Egyptian afterlife, and he's like trying to balance his scales the whole time. And man, talk about a sad episode. If you guys thought WandaVision was sad, it's got nothing on this. I don't know. I mean, okay, WandaVision is super sad, but this was like crazy sad. The whole episode was just nothing but depression and sadness. And it was a great episode, and that's one of the episodes I really felt, you know, Oscar Isaac really brought it home in the acting. The whole episode was really on point, and I think he really sold the whole thing. It was amazing. But that brings us to the 6th and final episode, which was just an epic action ride the whole time. We got to see Layla suit up and become an Egyptian superhero. She had her little moment of somebody like, oh my god, are you an Egyptian superhero? And she's like, yeah, I am. That was actually pretty cool, I thought. And yeah, she had some great action scenes, not just in that last episode, but I think throughout the whole series. She was awesome the whole time. But actually getting to see her suit up in a costume and, you know, have these cool winged sword things was pretty freaking sweet, honestly. And since Moon Knight had come back from the dead and worked out all his issues, you know, him and Steven were able to just switch back and forth at will. And it was freaking so cool just seeing them, like, switch suits back and forth to, like, fly with the cape. And then, like I think there was actually a moment when Harold grabbed his cape and he, like, switched to Steven and the cape disappeared and he, like, got out of it. And when Steven, like, threw his, like, stick and it bounced off a wall and then Mark caught it in the actual Moon Knight suit, that was so freaking cool, too. There was a lot of cool little fight scene sequences. But then the craziest thing was at the climax of that fight, Mark just blacked out and then woke up to everybody being unconscious again, just like in the first episode, which I thought was kind of a cool throwback, but at the same time I was like, bruh, I want to see what happened right there. How did he get out of that? And even Layla was like, Mark, what happened just now? Like, I really want to know how he managed to get out of that, but we may never know. But it was a cool scene nonetheless, and I think that really showed that, you know, they've been teasing, like, another personality the whole show, and that really drove it home that, like, that wasn't Mark or Steven. Who the heck was that? I just kind of thought maybe they should care about that a little bit more than they did, but they didn't. They had other more important things to do. And there was a epic after credit scene where we got to see that third personality for a brief moment. And of course that's Jake Lockley. And he was speaking Spanish the whole time, which is a little different, but kind of cool, I guess. That, I mean, that way you get to tell who's Steven with the British accent, and then I guess Jake Lockley will be speaking Spanish the whole time. I don't know. Maybe he'll just have a Spanish accent later if they choose to make him speak English, who knows. But it was really cool to see him, and I thought that was a kind of a nice way to still wrap it up, because he still kind of assassinated the good guy, and Mark chose to spare him, meaning he's, you know, a better person, right? Because he spared the bad guy and let him have a second chance. But they're like, no, we can't let this guy stick around. We gotta have Jake Lockley come in and assassinate him. I thought it was a really freaking awesome end credit scene. But yeah, you guys, I'd give the show a solid 9 out of 10. I thought it was near perfect. There's like maybe a few gripes that I had with it that held it back a little bit, but I thought, you know, 99% of it was just completely on point. And my gripes are very minimal. So I really, really love the show overall. And I think you guys should check it out. It's streaming now on Disney+. Go check it out if you haven't. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought of it overall. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.